again, everyone. I recently unboxed this Chic Sparrow Giovanni #7 pocket size, and I had some comments about showing how it holds inserts, and I actually have started using this pretty much right away as my wallet. So I figured I would do a flip through of this as my wallet, and then people can also see how it's holding inserts, which is very well, if I do say so. Part of the reason why I decided to use this as my wallet is to me, it looks like a wallet. Like the leather seems to be the type of leather that I would associate with a wallet. The size is one that I use often as a wallet, pocket size. It's actually one of my most comfortable sizes for using as a wallet because things fit in there very nicely and it's not too small. With the passport size, I previously had my wallet in a passport size and it sometimes is a little too small, and then I end up chunking it up this way as opposed to having that little bit of extra height. So I'll go ahead and get in here and show you what I have in here after I show you again this just lovely, lovely leather. I did, after getting this, I ordered 2 other sizes of this leather. I'm really hoping that Chic Sparrow brings it back as a regular collection. They've apparently been thinking about that, and there have been some polls floating around on Facebook about them doing that. I don't know what the availability of this leather is, so I don't know if they can do it, but I really would like them to do it. It's basically just a really, really nice leather. I love it. The color is, one of my perfect colors for leather, this sort of warm brown color, and the feel of it is really, really nice. So I ordered the other, I'll just start telling you that before we move on to the flip through. So the other 2 sizes I've ordered are B6 Slim Cascade, and then I also ordered the new size B6 Folio that holds a Jabun Techo. So I did want to see how the bigger Folio for B6 size or B6 Slim size works with things that I would normally put in there. So we'll see. But I know the B6 Slim is my favorite size, so I got that. The pen loop, so in here, it seems to be doing okay, this removable pen loop, and I'll go into more what I have in here and all of that. It doesn't seem to slide around too much when I take the pen in and out. I'll do that a time or two when I open this up. So as usual, I have ink on my fingers today. I have found that lava soap gets fountain pen ink off pretty easily. This is Ackerman's SBRE Brown that I have on my fingers today because I was swapping out some nibs. But I just didn't have time to wash my hands in between. So, all right, so let's get in here. So it has this lovely band. I really like the color, this darker color with the lighter leather. I've seen some people change it out to a lighter elastic, which I think also would be pretty on there. I'm fine with this combination, so I don't plan to remove it. The only reason why I don't have anything in these front pockets right now is I had some stamps in one of these, and I'm actually using that to cover one of my credit cards later. So normally I would put some stamps in here, and I'll probably put some other things in here. I tried a few different configurations of this wallet, and so of putting credit cards up here and in one of these wallet inserts that I have, which I'll show you here in a minute. And then I ultimately decided to just do 2 wallet inserts because they both have vertical pocket slots, which I prefer to this horizontal pocket slot configuration. So because this is the #7, this is the configuration it comes in. It has these 2 vertical card pockets, and then it has this pocket in the back, which you can also use folio style and put something in here. And I actually did try this folio style. It actually works very well, but because I have just sort of a flimsy field notes notebook in here, I actually ended up tearing the back in trying to get it in and out of here. So I decided not to put it in there for right now, just because it didn't seem to be, because this is just a really chintzy, cardboard, really thin paper cover. So if you had something a little more sturdy, I think it would be fine. And I do think having that in there did help with the pen loop, keeping it a little tighter. But even without it, it seems to be okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and start back here at the beginning again. So like I said, I normally will have things in here, but I don't right now. And I have two wallet inserts. This one is a cork insert from Nisa Made that I had her put in vertical card slots. She also makes them, the standard way she makes them is with two vertical card slots like that, with everything else being the same configuration. There is a little pocket back here, and then there is this zipper pocket. So I have my most used credit cards and ID and all that kind of stuff here up in the front. And this is currently empty. I might end up putting something in there. And then in here I have cash. It may look like a lot of cash, but it's mostly ones. There's like a 20 in the front and then a bunch of ones. And I do have a little bit of change in here. And then this is my second wallet insert, and this is a Odd Girl Journals, aka Keely Reichman, that was purchased from Etsy. This is made with old Trader Joe's. I don't know what this material is, but it's the bags that Trader Joe's uses, and this is made out of those. So I have some like secondary credit cards over here, some shop cards, that sort of thing. I have a check back here. I don't have room in here for a checkbook, but and I rarely use checks anymore, but I thought it'd be nice to have one in here just in case, if for no other reason than if I need my routing number or something, I have it here. And so that means that there's a pocket right here, and then there's also this little secretarial pocket, which I currently don't have anything in. I plan to put like receipts and stuff in there because it's kind of handy. And then in this pocket, I have one of each of my migraine medications that I take. It's always good to have that for emergencies, and sometimes it's just sort of like a comfort blanket to know that I have it in case I need it. Okay, and then the last insert I have in here, this is a dashboard with some decorative paper in here. And then on the inside, I put my picture of me and my husband, and then just a little sticker. And then I have this field notes notebook for taking notes. I really like having a notebook in my wallet because sometimes there's like, I'll be somewhere, although this would happen much more frequently before the pandemic, but I would be somewhere and then I would need to write down a piece of information. And if I don't have this notebook in here, I tend to have to search for both a pen and paper to take a look to where to put that note. So it's really, really handy. I have a few old notes in here. And it takes me forever to fill one of these inserts because it's pretty rare that I use it, but when I do need it, it's very, very handy. And then back here I have, oh, and these little, where these pictures are, these are just little stick-in pockets that I put on the front and back of the dashboard here. They fit perfectly on the plastic part of the dashboard. This is a dashboard from Chic Sparrow. And then I just have my doggy picture there. And then we have this pocket back here, which I was showing you earlier. And then the pen that I have in here is a Sailor Pro Gear Mini in green. This is the older style that has the threads on the back so that you can thread the cap. Actually, I try to thread it so that the yeah, so if you thread it with the nib facing this, it will always be at the position when you finish threading it, so that the clip is up so that it won't interfere with your handwriting. It's a great pen. Here, I'll go ahead and it works pretty well on this paper. Oh, yes, I was trying to figure out, so this is a interesting field notes notebook. It's like an encryption notebook, and then they included some, like a little encryption puzzle in the back, and I was trying to figure that out. I never did end up figuring it out, but that's what this is back here. But this pen works very, very well. I actually have messed with the flow of this pen a little bit. So initially the flow, because these come in only medium fine, the flow was a little skimpy of the ink to me. So I actually made it a little bit of a wetter flow. Basically how I did that was I took a somewhat harder surface. I'm not going to do it now, but I took a somewhat harder surface and basically pressed the nib lightly into that harder surface and moved it back and forth. And then I, just to make sure that it wasn't pulling away from the feed, I pushed it back a little bit in place. This was actually tips that I got from Jet Pens on how to adjust the flow of your pen, and it actually works really great because this is a much heavier flow than it was originally. And I also smoothed this nib with some micro mesh a little bit, so now it's like perfect. I actually think, because I did the same thing with, I have 2 of these Pro Gear Slim Minis. I actually think I did a little bit of a better job with my blush pink color, which I have associated with my gratitude journal. That one writes really, really well. I might go back and do a little bit more work on this one, but for note-taking associated with a wallet, it's totally fine. It works pretty well. And I really like the way it looks with this leather. So if I were not to put any, if I were not to hold on to any part of that before putting it in, it seems to work okay. I might be more concerned if the pen were a little bit thicker, in that it might pull a little bit more, but this seems to work just fine. But I do generally like hold that in place so that it doesn't move around at all, really. And it holds this size pen perfectly. It doesn't seem to move around a lot. I think they did modify the slit size, which is great. I actually sent Chic Sparrow an email asking them to do that because I'm not necessarily opposed to this design, but it just was, on the couple that I had, it was really, it was going all over the place. And I think they've made some improvements, but I'm not sure this pen loop is going to be around forever, because there's some polls going around as to whether or not they should go back to the old pen loop. I still prefer the old pen loop. I was just trying to help them improve this pen loop, if this is what they were going to stick with. And I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure other people brought up that same advice. So, but anyway, all that is to say is that this one works fine in this context. And then it's not too chunky. I mean, it works pretty well as a wallet, even with the 2 wallet inserts. I'm kind of one of those people that if there's a place for something, I don't like it to be empty. It's one of my OCD things, I guess. So like, I'm okay leaving the, here, I'll show you. I'm okay leaving the string empty that has the knot. Just because I kind of view that as, that's the knot string, right? So I kind of like having 3 inserts in here, at least 3. 4 works too, but this works for this. When I had this notebook, this was the other reason why I moved the notebook back onto the string, is because this back string was left empty once I put it in here, and I didn't need to put anything else in here, and then I just felt like that string's empty. It needs to have something in it or on it. So that's just my quirk, my personal quirk. Although now that I know that I can put a folio like something in here, I'm like, oh, well, this is empty, so there needs to be something in there. But again, that's just my OCD. And I could just use this as a place to put things like ephemera or receipts or anything that I would normally keep in my wallet, because it's still just as useful as the secretarial pockets that are on the regular TNs. Okay, so I think that's all I had for you today. I'm gonna wrap that back up, and it's a really good size with the string on. It's not too bulky, and it's actually really, really light. The leather itself is really light, which is nice. That's part of the reason why I like this leather so much, is because it is really light, but it doesn't feel too super thin. I love it. It's a great leather in my opinion. And then both of these inserts are pretty light, because this one's made out of cork, which is pretty light, and then this one is just made with the plastic bag material, which is also very light. I've tried various leather wallet inserts, and they just tend to be too heavy. Like I've tried some from Apple Pig, and although they're great, they're beautiful, and they have, really useful card slots and all that kind of thing, they just are a little too heavy for my everyday carry wallet. So I just wanted to show that to you, and I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like. Feel free to subscribe to keep track of future videos on my channel. If you have any questions about any of these items that I showed today, just let me know down below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I hope to see you next time, but in the meantime, have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.